Welcome back, everyone. We are going to have another Wings of Liberty cast here today, brought to you by SGCwe. You can check me out any of the links on the left-hand side. Let's hop into the game now and introduce our players. We are going to have two very good players. We do in fact have SKHope as our red Zerg player, spawning in the bottom left hand position on Daybreak. And in the top right, we have Team Liquid's newest acquisition, LiquidSnute. ZVZ on Daybreak. What are we going to see? Is it going to be Roach, Hydra, and Fester? Or is it going to be Muta on Muta? Or maybe a mix of both. We'll see who can come out on top. Both very good players. Hope more established in the SC1 Brood War scene than the StarCraft 2 scene, but as he is a member of a Pro League team, he has been playing quite a lot recently. Not terribly good results, but still a very top tier Korean Zerg. Not to be taken lightly. LiquidSnute, on the other hand, the recent winner of Home Story Cup over MC. The Boss Toss himself. The Protoss President. So, what are we going to be looking for here? More than likely, it seems like catch first from both players. They are pulling minerals, and we do see, no, in fact, it is going to be a spawning pool on 15. And it does look like LiquidSnute is going to opt for the hatch first. Both of these builds really end up evening out because the hatch first allows you to get these 3 larvae from the hatch, but the spawning pool allows you to get your queen out quicker, which means you can inject and, well, match the amount of larvae. So really not too big of a deal. The big thing is to check the gas timings, who gets their gas down first, who starts mining it first, etc. Because then that yields itself to who has the speed advantage and banelings out earlier. Are they going for any sort of baneling bust, all-in type play? What is going on? Snute going up to 17, probably gonna grab a gas here soon, I would assume. No, both players opting to get their gas a little bit late, it seems. Typically, you'll see that go down about 16. Both players, though, waiting until 18 at least for Hope, and Snute still without a gas. Now, in fact, getting it, decides, nah, I don't really need it. Probably just to try and get out queens quicker or something of the nature. Supplies still fairly even, and as we can see now, yes, the first queen is out, and the second queen will literally finish when these 2 queens do. There's like a 5-second difference. So, they'll still be on equal footing, same amount of injects for the most part. Not really a big deal. The interesting part to see is, are they going to pull workers out of gas? How many are they going to pull out of gas? If any at all, or are they going to keep pulling gas for some sort of muta play later on, or are they going to pull them and maybe just put them back in later and get roaches instead? They are much cheaper on the gas count. Only 25 versus 100. Snute almost losing that Overlord there, but it does barely get away. Baneling Nest coming down, more than likely going to see a Spine Crawler in addition. Still no Baneling Nest though. In fact, going for an Evo Chamber instead from Hope, and sometimes you see this, they'll get up Carapace earlier. This allows them to take 2 Baneling hits versus 1, which, well, is obviously extremely nice. You're getting twice the amount of gas expenditure. 3 queen build out of LiquidSnute, more than likely just so he can spread some creep. Metabolic boost finishing up, +1 Carapace. started for Hope as well as his Baneling nest. Pretty non-aggressive play coming out so far. Just checking for a third, making sure he doesn't have to snipe that. Gonna probably poke in here and just see what's going on. Sees a very large lack of lings. He's gonna get one worker on gas, but he's going to lose all these lings for that. An okay trade, I suppose. And now I'm willing to bet Hope, after spotting this third going up, is in fact going to head over here. And Snute is going to have to make these Zerglings and get them over here quickly, or he is not going to be able to hold on to this base. But he does have Banelings here, and a decent Baneling connection so far. Not super. With these queens here, though, they should be able to tank any sort of incoming Baneling hits from these guys right here. More Banelings being morphed, as well as a counter-attack from LiquidSnute. He is going to try and snipe off this third base, and it does look like, even without these links, he will have just enough time to do so. And is he going to get the cancel off is the question. Yes, he does in fact cancel, and now can just pull out, and this allows Snute to get up his third hatchery, and now his economy will more than likely be very, very, very far ahead. Hope dropping down the infestation pit and Roach Warren at the same time. +1 coming out for both players for their ranged attack Galil reconstitution from Snute. So these roaches will have a slight speed advantage just for a little bit, not a crazy amount of time. As yes, there we see Galil started for Hope. Third base still not up for Hope, and that means that he is very far behind, as we can see in economy. Just look at the difference in mineral income per minute. Ton more harvesters as well for Snute. And now we see quite a bit of aggression here coming in. These Banelings all had the opportunity for a great connection there, and still does, but with this +1 Carapace, those Zerglings take so much longer to kill. Great little build coming out of Hope. This is what I was talking about. It does take 2 Baneling detonations, in fact, for these Zerglings to die, so you can literally just run them in there and they're still fine. They still have like 4 or 5 hit points. Roach is now on the way for both players. +2 started up for Snute before the +1 has finished for Samsung Kong's Hope. We do see a Hope grabbing his 5th and 6th gases much before that of a LiquidSnute. He's a little oversaturated there, to be honest. He's probably going to grab these any time once he realizes, as we can see, he has 2 pages and then some. Very cool. We do see Burrow and Tunneling Claws coming out from Snute, so more than likely he is going to try and abuse the lack of Overseers. As we can see, there's literally no detection for Hope. He doesn't need to get guys in these gases, though. And gonna be interested to see, is he going to like send little hit squads to each of the mineral lines and then on Burrow, or is he just going to like maybe target this third, as it is the most valuable and undermined base so far. He does come in with some detection just to see if there is any sort of spore crawlers or Overseers out for Hope. Does look like Hope is going to be utilizing a little bit of counterattack aggression here once he sees this army moving out, and he should in fact now see this, and yes, there we go. The counterattack is in fact going to happen. But with Burrow on the field, and as we can see, LiquidSnute's supply is so vastly huge, we're really going to have to see probably the best fungals you've ever seen in your life come out of Hope. Very good one to start it off, but I'm just not sure that he's going to have enough, especially with Burrow here. Yes, and in fact, we do see him burrowing some of the units already. He can even run them away. Oh, and this is snowballing in Snute's favor very heavily, very quickly. We're going to see a great fungal come down. It does not... Oh, yes, he does have the energy, but these... Little Roach Burrow coming up, sniping the Infestors. Great play out of LiquidSnute. Oh my gosh. And he has pushed this advantage even farther into his favor, attacking the third. Drones going down everywhere. So you can see workers killed. Now burrowing even more to get on both sides of the Roaches, running away from these Banelings. And with the lack of detection here, he really needs to get this Overseer out, and once he does, he will in fact probably be pretty sad to see just how many Roaches are here. Third goes down, Snute 60 supply ahead, crushing the dreams of SKHope, really just putting on a clinic how to use Burrow Micro and these Tunneling Claws to get advantageous positions, and GG is called from Hope. A pretty lackadaisical ZVZ to start out with, but once the Roaches came out, man, did the pressure get turned on. Both players really attempting to snipe each other's thirds. Great back and forth game, but LiquidSnute just with too much for Hope to handle. If you did like the cast, feel free to check out more casts at /SGCW on YouTube.com. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more.